I said that I wasn't going to do this. I said that I wasn't going to do it. Every time I want to leave, something keep pulling me back, me back. Every time I want to leave, something keep pulling me back, me back. Every time y'all pull me right on back into this conversation. And so we just gonna knock it out real quick. We're not gonna have no long dialogue about it. I'm just going to have this conversation based off of showing you what's in these subpoenas. Basically, the FBI is all over Dolton. It's unfortunate. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
This is wonderful news. We've been waiting on this for some time, and now finally, someone has heard us.
Jubilation in South Suburban Dolton after federal agents serve a pair of subpoenas on Village Hall, part of what appears to be a blossoming corruption investigation into Dolton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Today, Fox 32 obtained copies of those two subpoenas, which offer something of a roadmap to that federal investigation. Our Dane Placco has more.
Would you like to look at them?
Absolutely.
We showed Dolton trustee Tammy Brown the subpoenas that were delivered by 4 FBI agents at Dolton Village Hall Friday afternoon. Directed to the Village of Dolton's custodian of records, they're headlined "Subpoena to Testify Before a Grand Jury." And that's significant because it's our first official confirmation that a federal grand jury has been impaneled to investigate allegations of rampant corruption in Dolton. In fact, the subpoena discloses they began meeting in November of last year.
Oh my God. Someone has heard our cry. Finally, someone has heard the residents of Dolton, and they're actually going to do something about it now.
One of the subpoenas asks for personnel and disciplinary files for 29 Dolton employees. Trustee Brown reviewed the list of names and told us they all have one thing in common.
All of these people are loyal to the mayor. Every last one of them are loyal to the mayor.
Ask you a couple questions. The other subpoena asks for information about Village Administrator Keith Freeman, Mayor Henyard's top deputy, who you may remember tried to block us from talking to the mayor when we did a story about her police security detail last year.
Mayor, why do you need so many officers detailed for your security?
The subpoena focusing on Freeman asks for payments, tax records, and any contracts given to a list of companies, some of which are associated with Freeman according to a search of LLC records.
It would be my somewhat educated guess that there have been allegations raised by third parties that those businesses, or at least some of them, were sham businesses. They didn't really exist. They provided no legitimate services. And he was submitting phony invoices to the village, which were being paid.
Former FBI agent Ross Rice says even though the subpoenas require Dolton to turn over the records to the grand jury on May 13th, it's likely the investigation is nowhere near wrapping up.
You have 2 separate subpoenas for 2 different types of records. And that means it's what I would call a multifaceted or a multi-pronged investigation.
Last week, Freeman was charged with bankruptcy fraud for allegedly underreporting his income at Dolton and Thornton Township by about $100,000. Trustees who've been battling.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. So y'all finessing the city out of money. Then you file for bankruptcy in order to avoid paying creditors. And then on top of that, you underreport your income by $100,000 in bankruptcy filings, and you know that you have all of this visibility by being associated and tied to a person that has basically become and labeled the worst mayor in America in a small city. One thing about being around people that draw a lot of visibility, right? If you are around somebody or somebody that is very much hated by the general public or people that's around them, you then become a target. And so in that situation, I don't know if they was just naive, stupid, just this dumb, or they really thought that they was Teflon like this, right? And that when you around some people, you have to have every T crossed, and every I dotted, and you can't be associated with, doing, or participating in anything that is not right. I mean, everything got to be on top of things. Every contract, every business, you have to be doing things on the up and up. You can't do nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Or they gonna find it. And the one thing that they're able to get you on, regardless of whether or not they can even prove your level of corruption, is the paper trail. The money. When it comes back to the money and you file documents, or you out here filing for bankruptcy, or you running these sham companies, or you finessing the city and then the city got to pay these crazy invoices, when they go back to that, bro, you work for the city. You work for somebody that is public enemy number one that's working for the city. Dog, that is public information. That is under the Freedom of Information Act. You're using public tax dollars to enrich yourself. You don't think that that's gonna kill you? So when the news show up and they got a bunch of cameras around, you know they're gonna be pulling documents. You know they're gonna have you going down. Bro, they did the same thing that Kwame Kilpatrick in Detroit. Do y'all know what got Kwame? Because they was always after Kwame. It was from the minute that he came into office. They didn't like the fact that he was brash. They didn't like the fact that he was young. They didn't like the fact that he was tall. They didn't like the fact that he was a former football player. He had a whole lot of charisma. Black people loved him and supported him. And he had won big in the city of Detroit, right? And so in that instance, you can't be fucking on no other chicks. I'm sorry. You can't be busting down no other chicks. You know what I'm saying? The people, what people do is they first go after everybody else around you. And then when the walls start closing in, they start going after you. They go after everybody around you, and then they go after you. Quam, the way that they got at him was texting back and forth on a public device and having an affair with his chief of staff. Had nothing to do with the city whatsoever. And so once they start pulling all of that, then it just start opening up Pandora's box. And then everybody around them and all of the people that's around them, they was like, shoot, they paying attention to my business, you changing my business. And it just went all downhill from there. That's how they got him. It was a public device that they was texting back and forth on and going back and forth about an affair that they was having. Just completely unraveled his whole world. And when you are in public office, you don't want to do, bro, when you in public office, you don't take no contracts. You don't do nothing dirty. You get paid your salary. You make sure you run it up. You stay out of the limelight. You only talk about city business. All of this stuff that she had going on, she was promoting herself. She on social media. I'm the people's mayor. She going back and forth with vloggers and stuff like that. Are you crazy? Are you insane? So you want to be loud. You up there making almost 300 bands a year in total compensation when it comes to your lifestyle. And all you got to do is be quiet, play ball, do the things that the city wants you to do, work in the best interest of the people, not overly promote yourself, and get that and get paid. So stupid, bro.
Henyard say after seeing Freeman all over the federal subpoenas, it's time for him to go.
Termination, not suspension, pending investigation. The investigation is ongoing. Termination. Immediately.
The only response to the subpoenas from Mayor Henyard so far came on social media over the weekend when she posted, quote, "To all you clowns that's a part of the circus, stop chasing fake news."
Even Diddy's smart enough to just be quiet. Even Diddy is like, you know what? I'm going to just get on my bike and I'm going to ride around Miami Beach. I ain't got nothing to say to nobody. I don't got no beef with nobody. I'm going to just let y'all have it. And then, you know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens and play it. Ain't nobody even talking about Diddy no more except for Gene Deal. Ain't nobody even talking about Diddy. Yo, we've been talking about Tiffany Henyard for years now. And every time something happened, the first thing that she do is she pick up her device, she go to social media, and she start talking big junk to all of y'all clowns and stuff like that. Man, girl, are you stupid? What is wrong with you? Why is she talking? Why is she not trying to make friends with Kool-Aid? Instead, she making enemy with shots on social media. Look, and then meanwhile, right after that, they start doing a whole nother report talking about how her whole staff has spent $100,000 on travel. Look.
WGN Investigates has new details on a South suburban politician's taste for travel. It's costing taxpayers a lot of money with few details about how it benefits the communities she serves. FBI agents arrived at Village Hall on Friday to serve subpoenas for the employment records of more than a dozen Dolton employees. Tiffany Henyard is the mayor of Dolton. She is also the supervisor of Thornton Township. Credit card records show Henyard and her team have charged taxpayers more than $102,000 for trips they've taken in the past year. That includes a stay at the Four Seasons in Atlanta and a $13,000 hotel tab in New York City. Township taxpayers also paid for a trip to Las Vegas, in which a Dolton trustee is accused in a civil lawsuit of sexual misconduct with one of Henyard's aides. The group was in Sin City to attend a conference that connects retailers with communities for potential projects, but several.
And it's so funny because now they saying, look, y'all spent $103,000 just on travel alone. 103 bands. 103 bands. See, and that's not being a good steward of the city's money because you wouldn't do it on your own. And so they leveraged the fact that they was in a public position to be able to take advantage of the fact that they had a free piggy bank on behalf of the taxpayers, especially in a community in the county where people are basically living in poverty. And they started to have a whole bunch of trips and have a bunch of fun and say, man, but I'm able to do this. You're not being a good steward of people's money, and you're not being a good representation of the city. So be very, very careful. If y'all thinking about getting any of these public jobs, or y'all want to run for city council, or y'all want to be, you're going to be under a microscope, bro. We already under a microscope enough just being on social media. Real talk. We under microscope enough just being on social media. And when you throw in that cocktail bomb of brash and talking junk, man, you can't fight the world. You cannot fight the world. Y'all better be careful. When you get these public jobs and these public positions, do the right thing that's in the best interest of the people, or you're gonna find yourself on the tail end of the stick. So listen, man, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I'm gonna pay attention to what's happening over there in Dolton, but it just don't look good. Whenever the FBI, I don't like three-letter abbreviations of organizations. I personally don't myself. I don't like FBI. I don't like IRS. I don't like CIA. I don't even like LGBTQ. I don't like none of these letters. I don't like nothing and nobody that got 3 letters in their name. Real talk. I don't. When I see an abbreviation, but who is that? Right now, I don't even like the NBA. Real talk. I don't even like the NBA. The NBA has disgusted me. So much so, I just canceled I ain't doing this. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with y'all.